Are vowing that the spending bill will reduce the pain of inflation. But my next guest says that this bill should actually be called the Inflation Acceleration Act. Joining me now, Georgia Congressman Buddy Carter. Congressman, great to be with you.
Thank you.
So many out there saying that this is going to hurt the American people. Another $700 billion in spending at a time when we just can't really afford to be doing that, especially when it was overspending that got us in this situation in the first place.
Absolutely. This is the worst thing that the Democrats could do. You know, this should be called the Inflation Acceleration Act because that's what it's going to do. And when will they understand that you cannot spend your way out of inflation? That cannot be done. I mean, look at our economy, what's happening right now. We've got lower wages, we've got lower spending, yet we've got higher gas prices, higher inflation, all of that. Our economy's in a mess. We're in a recession. I agree with the previous guest. If you ask 9 out of 10 people, or 10 people how much what they think we're in, 9 are going to say we're in a recession. We get calls in our office every day from people who are telling me I can't afford gas to get to work, but I can't afford not to go to work. Right. We've got a strong rural presence, ag community in our district, and they're telling me I can't afford diesel, I can't afford fertilizer, I can't afford to plant a crop this year. What am I going to do? People are hurting, and that's what this is going to do. It's going to put fuel on the fire. Didn't they learn anything from the American Rescue Plan? It's been estimated that alone increased our inflation rate 4 percentage points.
Yeah.
This is going to be even worse.
You make a point there, and people are feeling it. And it's those stories and the feedback that you get from constituents and the small business owners that I talk to, you know, that in the back of my mind sort of leave me worried about exactly where we're going here. Now, it was Senator Joe Manchin that, you know, kiboshed the previous Build Back Better. Now they're renaming it. This is a skinny version of the bill. Kyrsten Sinema had one negotiation point, and it appears this carried interest loophole that the Democrats want to close. She's pushing back against that. It seems that it'll be removed from this. So it seems like she, you know, has a small win there. It's another $13 billion in revenue that would be generated. You know, having said that, to push this through at this time still could be very tricky for America.
Oh, absolutely. This, again, this is the last thing we need right now. Look, we've identified the two greatest challenges of our country as being China and our debt. This is going to add to our debt. They say it's going to decrease the debt. No, it's going to add to our debt. And I tell you what's going on with our debt right now. This is intergenerational theft. As the father of 6, as the father of 3 and the grandfather of 6, I'm not going to leave my children and my grandchildren with $30 trillion in debt. We've got to address this. This is only going to add to it. This is absolutely the wrong thing. And it's not just your money that they're playing with here. It's also your health, because this includes a portion. As a pharmacist, I have to mention this. It includes something. They're going to kill medical innovation. They're going to kill research and development at a time when we can least afford to have that happen. We have so many diseases out there that we need cures to, Alzheimer's being one of them, that if they pass this, particularly the prescription part of it, this is going to kill research and development. We can ill afford that right now.
No, that's an excellent point, and I haven't really dug into the healthcare aspect of it because there's so much other stuff in this bill as well, but that is an excellent point. They also, at a time when gas prices are still high on a relative basis, I know they've come down a lot, but people are hurting, still having trouble filling up at the pump. They want to really move forward with this green climate energy agenda when people are shrugging their shoulders and saying, how is it that you let the dirtiest producers around the world contribute to the overall supply when we're the cleanest producer here and you're tying our hands behind our back?
Certainly, we need to unleash our energy and reclaim our energy independence in this country. That's one of the things we need to do. We need to stop spending. We also need to cut down on the regulations. That will help get us out of this recession. But the Democrats, all they want to do is spend, spend, spend.
It feels like to me there's just one last chance before the midterms to try to ram a spending bill through, and that's kind of what's happening here, essentially. And the administration and the Democrats are thinking, okay, well, we'll just do that no matter what the consequences are, and we'll put the onus on the Fed to hike interest rates, and, you know, Jerome Powell will be the bad guy here.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's exactly what they're doing right. This is a Hail Mary. There's no question about it, because we are going to take back the majority in the House of Representatives next session. And when we do that, we're going to stop this kind of nonsense.
Yeah, and you bring up that point about the pharmaceuticals, innovation, China as well. You know, on the global stage, this would be the time that we have to step up and be more competitive than ever with respect to everything that we're doing. And it kind of seems like we are a bit of a laughingstock of the world right now.
Absolutely. And what we've done this week, what we witnessed this week, and what the Democrats have done has to, first of all, with the Speaker's trip to Taiwan, which I applaud her for doing that, because I can assure you Joe Biden didn't have the guts to stand up to China. But at the same time, that is one of our greatest challenges. Now we're adding to our debt, and that's the last thing we need to do. They are making things worse. If we just need to hold our breath until we can take over in the 1st of January of next year and hopefully stop this nonsense.
Do you think the American people can hold out until then? You know, New York City isn't always the best place to do these informal surveys because income levels tend to be on the higher side here. But having said that, across the country in the heartland of America, can people hold out?
No, they can't. And again, I have to agree with your first guest. I think this jobs report is indicative of second jobs, of people getting another job. And that's
just
even
to
worse.
Make ends meet.
Exactly.
Just to make ends meet. Congressman, always great to see you. Thank you so much for coming in the studio today.